is Overwatch 2 being postponed to 2024, and 5 surprising features that Blizzard might be adding to Overwatch 2. Welcome to the Omnic Recap. I am D, and every Sunday we look back at what happened during the past week in Overwatch. We are less than 1 week away from BlizzCon, and the nerves are running high. Rumors are popping up left and right like Torbjorn on a sugar rush. We'll talk about those rumors later in the video, and I'll add 5 surprising things that Blizzard might be adding to Overwatch 2 and that you might not have thought about. But first, some closer changes. This week Blizzard released another experimental card, and again that card contains some tweaks and balancing changes. Let's start with Lady Orisa, the horse of Overwatch. Not a cow, a horse. Fortify will now prevent critical headshot damage while the effect is active. As I've said before, the series of changes that Blizzard did to Orisa in the last year slowly turned her into a boring shield dispenser that occasionally giggles as she releases a puppy from a gift box. Let's be honest, Fortify currently is just a way to piss off 7'4" gigantic Germans, but this change might make her the Omnic that we need. Some say that she might be a little too sturdy right now, but hey, that's what the cooldown is for, you horse haters. Next up, Winston. The base armor health has been redistributed from 100, 400 to 150, 350. Nothing too big, but that little bit of extra armor will definitely help him against weapon types like shotguns and beams. Oh, those beams. Onwards to Reaper. The spread on his Hellfire shotguns was reduced from 8 to 6, and the damage per projectile was reduced from 7 to 6. Wow, this one is slightly more difficult to kind of assess. The change to the spread should not make that big a difference if you're shooting at the bigger characters, let's say tanks in the game. In that case, the change is actually kind of a nerf. Maybe a much needed nerf. While in other situations, it might be a buff. But I think this change really needs to go live before we can make any decision on what the impact will be. And the last one, Wrecking Ball. The knockback strength while using his grappling claw was reduced by 25%. Well, that clearly is a nerf. But come on, he had it coming. The way this little bugger could bump you 2 maps to the left, it was just insane. But in general, not the biggest changes. I expect these changes to go live somewhere in the coming week. The other thing that is happening this week is BlizzCon. Yeah, finally. We have been looking forward to this for, well, I was going to say months, but actually, since that BlizzCon ended in 2019 where they announced Overwatch 2. We need more Overwatch 2 info. And the closer that we got to the event, the more clear it became that we might not be hearing what we wanted to hear. And last week, the final nail was driven into the coffin as we got the confirmation that Overwatch 2 will not be released in 2021. Check this video for more about that topic. Now, this week, we got a look at the schedule. And folks, it does not look good. It is starting to look like we won't even get those few announcements that we were still hoping for. It all starts at 2 p.m. PST, which is extremely late, seriously. With the opening ceremony where every game, where every IP will get 20 minutes on stage. This is basically the show where we get the big announcements, if there are any. Or maybe we'll get an animated short. Right after that, there's a panel that is called Behind the Scenes of Overwatch 2. What? That behind the scenes thing, it worries me. I might be wrong or they're just deliberately confusing us. But that just sounds like we'll see the developers talk about their job, not the details that we're looking for. Like, it's nice that we know what they do, but come on. A little later, there's the Voices of Overwatch panel, which is always awesome. It's basically the voice actors kind of talking. There's a panel on the soundtrack, and around 6 p.m., they're wrapping up the day. Then the second day is a series of community events, crafting stuff, and esports. I'll leave a link to the full schedule in the description below. Look, no matter what they tell us or don't tell us, this should be a fun show to watch. And on Friday, I'll be watching the show with my community on Twitch. Twitch.tv/AtomicTV. Please join us for some chats, some laughs, some crying maybe, and some giveaways. Now, before we dive into those 5 things for Overwatch 2, there is one thing we need to address. Every year, right before BlizzCon, there are a ton of rumors and screenshots that pop up out of nowhere. And this year is no different. This week, these screenshots went around. They are claiming that Overwatch 2 isn't coming till winter 2024. Yeah, that's fake. Look, there's so many things about this image that I could kind of start explaining. It's really simple. It's just someone that has Photoshop that took all of the pictures that are currently going around for Overwatch and Overwatch 2 and is having some fun with the community. You little buggers. I can't even imagine why Blizzard would be making stuff like that. Come on. Anyways, the 5 things, the 5 surprises that will pop up in Overwatch 2 that you might not have thought about. Number 1, map updates. We all know that we'll be getting new maps. That's a given. And we also know that the engine is getting upgraded, so the maps will also look better. And we have our hopes set on a new Paris and a reworked lunar colony. But what about the other maps? Because Overwatch 2 will update the maps in ways you might not have expected. In ways that reflect the changes in the lore that we have seen in the last few years. For instance, might we see the effect of what Case is doing in King's Row on the actual map? And did the clan that replaced the Shimada clan in Kanazeka also take over Hanamura and Shimada Castle? Will they finally tow away Maximilian's wrecked car in Havana? Or clean up the mess that Doomfist made in Numbani Airport? Those broken Omnics, they are really a fire hazard. Number 2, hero updates. Apart from the talents that we are getting in the PvE mode and the tweaks and balancing changes that we'll see for all heroes, Overwatch 2 will most likely also change some heroes in a really fundamental way. Like really change them. Some of these changes might be driven by gameplay decisions, while others might be influenced by lore. Torbjorn is one of the prime examples. What if he turns in his turrets for something different? Maybe living with Bastion for all those years kind of inspired him. I'm actually slightly worried about Torbjorn and Bastion living together. What might come out of that? A cannon maybe? A tank? A freaking Death Star that sings the Christmas song? Yeah, scary. There's a few other heroes that need to rethink their purpose. How will Symmetra be influenced after her encounter with Zenyatta and Brigitte or even Roadhog? They all have a lot to think about. Overwatch 2 will reset all of the rules and everything that we know about the game. This is their chance to come in with some of the big changes. And not only for heroes. Number 3, new teams. Right now, our standard game is basically 6 versus 6. 2 healers, 2 DPS, 2 tanks. Blizzard has stated that they will take this opportunity to rethink all of it. So we might end up with a 5 versus 5 scenario, or even 10 versus 10. Or maybe they'll switch things around. They will get smaller teams in one mode and huge teams in another mode. This would totally change the game as we know it. And it would make every mode even more unique than they already are. And what about new roles in those teams? At launch, Overwatch actually had 4 roles. What is DPS right now was split up in 2 types of heroes back in the day. But lately we hear a lot of rumors about the Brawler class, which are basically the off-tanks as we know them right now, but retuned to get them closer to a DPS role. D.Va and Roadhog would be the perfect fit if they would get some of those changes we were talking about. And maybe even future heroes like Mauga. Number 4, cross persistence. One feature that gets talked about a lot and is a popular request is cross-platform play. Something that is not as easy as it sounds. The very nature of Overwatch makes it really difficult to make that game cross-platform. Sure, you can lump together Xbox and PlayStation players, maybe swipe in some of the Switch players, but PC, it is a really different game on PC. But one thing that might make it in is cross-persistence, which basically is one account to rule all platforms. So all your progress, all your achievements, all your skins, come on, important, would be available no matter what platform you would be playing on. I think we can all agree that that would be An awesome feature to get and a good start. Okay, this last one is not the biggest surprise, but maybe you might be surprised in the way that Blizzard could be implementing it. Number 5, battle passes. A battle pass for Overwatch has been a dividing topic. Some see it as a way to keep the game fresh by continuously adding new content, cosmetics, while others see it as a hidden fee and they don't want to cough up extra money to get a few skins. And to be honest, both of them are valid reasonings. But what if Blizzard used the battle pass not to monetize the game, but rather as a way to distribute loot to replace those freaking loot boxes? Which they are actually doing already, but on a smaller scale. Those weekly challenges that we're doing right now for the Lunar New Year event are really small battle passes. Win 3 games for an icon, 3 more for a spray, win 9 and you get a skin. Battle pass. What if they do that on a bigger scale? In seasons? They give you skins, voice lines, icons, sprays, whatever, as you progress through the season. And you don't have to pay to unlock it, it's just there, for free.
Sure do. But how are they going to make money on Overwatch 2? How are they going to keep Bobby happy?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell what their business model is going to be for Overwatch 2, but if I had to guess, I would think that they had to pay $60 when Overwatch 2 comes out, and they keep dishing out expansions every X amount years, so we pay again. On top of that, you'll be able to buy extra levels for that battle pass in case you want that last glorious skin. And that doesn't stop them from adding a store where you can buy old skins, skins from previous seasons, exclusive skins to the shop. Trust me, they'll find a way. So, these were the 5 surprising things that you might see in Overwatch 2. Some might be more surprising than others, and there are a lot more that I wanted to add. Cosmetic pets, map builder, plans. But currently, we already discussed it, or I don't have a reason to believe that Blizzard will add those. Now, what map change, what hero change, what team change would you like to see? And what do you think about battle passes and crossplay? Let me know in the comments. But that was it. Give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and come say hi during one of my streams. All of the links are in the description below. Thank you all for watching. See you next week. Bye-bye. And we need more Overwatch 2 info.